Okay, so hopefully you just saw the little clip that I'm at 202.4, and remember I got to get down to 200, but I'm like 200.9. It just has to be 200 pounds, and then I do the 0.9. It's just, I've always had that rule. I didn't just make it up this morning. So I'm going to get down to, it's the no matter what diet, following Bill Phillips' Body for Life all week. Staying at 1,800 calories, super disciplined on 1,800 calories. 1,800 calories is how I get an X up there. So you can see how long I've been doing it for. So 1,800 calories strict. And then on Friday morning when I do my weigh-in, if I hit my 200 pounds, which is my goal for this week right here, 200. If I hit my 200, then I have a binge day. But in order to hit that 200, sometimes it's a little tough. Because last night, at 4 o'clock last night, 4 o'clock Wednesday night, 2 nights ago, I started fasting. And I fasted all yesterday, continued to do I did 3 workouts yesterday, fasted. Now this morning, I'm still off by like 1.5 pounds. So I'm going out and, to hit my 200.9. And so I put 3 layers on. And I'm going out for an hour run. So this is our run walk. But this is what I had to do last week too. So eye of the tiger, eye of the tiger. Okay, so I'm halfway through my run. And first I'll just talk about my run a little bit. I don't think I drank enough water yesterday. I was running around like a chicken with my head cut off. I don't think I had enough water in me because I'm weak today on this run. With the fast for 30 hours of fasting and then running with 3 layers on, I'm kind of weak. I felt better in my life. I'll probably be grinding this one out till the end, but this is this is pretty emotional to me. Remember, I was standing here a few days ago. This is probably I would say like 75% of the people who enjoy this park never get past Spring Lake here, And then when you go past here is where you start running up in the mountains, and there's a beautiful lake on the mountain, and you can go down the backside. They used to have a 50-mile run here, I don't know, maybe it was a 2-loop run. It's a pretty big park. And like I said, I've spent thousands of miles up here, and some of the there's been some serious top runners up here. I mean, we're talking, tops in the country and college running. We had a couple of them, and then my buddy Danny, who owns a shoe shop, has broke 10-minute mile. He broke 4-minute miles, like 10 times or more, and was one of the top runners in the world. And he trained up here. So we've had some serious elite athletes, elite runners who love this frickin' mountain. We all love this mountain. And I think the worst is over, man. I think the worst is over for this mountain. Now I know it's blowing the other way or something and going towards Fairfield. This is a monster fire, man. That's all I can say. But you just gotta be grateful for the little victories you get, and we're holding this. Looks like we held this side of the mountain. I heard the other side's not that good, but this side we held, and this is where, the other side is kind of in the boonies, you know what I mean? It's just, that's the real hardcore go over there, and this is more, your general public, and then your local runners. Usually, not too many people go up over the top, but anyway, I'm looking for the positive, that this, at least we held this side of the mountain. And my hopes and prayers are out there for the people who are still trying to hold on to their places, and the lives that were lost. And it's a terrible situation, but I'm gonna enjoy this little victory here, because you have to do that in life, otherwise you'd be fucking miserable. And so it looks like the firefighters, 900 of them in this area came up here to help. I'm seeing people from San Jose, which is like a 3-hour drive away, and they're all up here helping out, and there's policemen, and just everybody's up here pitching in, and I just fucking love it. And the community has really come together on this one. It's just been huge. It makes me so emotional. Anyway, okay, just finished my run walk. I went 5 miles. I was definitely feeling it today. I don't think I felt it this bad the fast day, and like I said, maybe I didn't drink enough water yesterday. I don't know. I was really busy. But I could feel it today, and yeah, I was like 2 minutes a mile slower than I've been going for the run, and 2 minutes a mile slower per mile on the walk part of it. And but I'll tell you one thing, I think I sweated a lot, so I'm gonna go. We need a little drum roll, and I'm gonna go check the scale right now. I gotta get naked as a jaybird though, and this is not an R-rated video. All right, you saw the weigh-in numbers. 199.6. Woo hoo! Look, I'm trying to celebrate, but I think I'm too weak. I think I did a little bit too much fasting, and like I think my theory is I didn't have enough water yesterday. But I was a couple minutes a mile slower on that walk than I've been, and I was glad to finish. And I brought it in though, 199.6. The lose the weight no matter what diet keeps kicking ass. Look for it on the New York Times bestseller list. Yes, you do whatever it takes to get to your goal my goal this week was 200 pounds. And I was also like, when I was on this, when I felt better before I got really tired, in the beginning, I was thinking, you know what? I'm at the tipping point. The tipping point is a magic thing. That's when you know you're going to make it. You just know you're going to make it. So in these events, when I finish them, there's always a tipping point I hit when I know I'm going to finish. I remember my first Badwater, when I was going up the last climb. You know, it's like a 13-mile climb up Mount Whitney, up to the portal. And I was going up that, and I knew I was going to make it then. I knew I was going to make the cutoff. I knew I was going to make it. I'd really been suffering for a long time. And I got real emotional. It's real emotional when you know you're going to make it. But I think that I've done, 3 fasting days to get to these goals. And this is my third one. I started this Thursday, then this Thursday, then this Thursday, and holding real tight on the 1,800 calories and not going over it. The power of the chain, the power of the X's, power of the chain, hitting the 200. Tipping point, I can feel it, tipping point. I got this, 185. Whoa, that's a lot of more X's. But I got that. That's a lot more Friday. Thursday's fast too, but I got that. I'm going to eat today. Except I feel too weak now to eat much. The one time I got carried away when I started eating really fast after this fast, and I got nauseous. I'm standing over the toilet, oh, this isn't the way to do it. I got to go slower at it after I fast. This is how Furley does law of attraction. This means I need to go for a walk. He stares out the window, and you kind of get the hint. And if that doesn't work, he'll stare right at you. He's not a big barker, but he's a good starer. This means I want a walk, Papa. Hey, anyway, now that I'm feeling a little bit better, I just had a protein shake. I haven't eaten nothing too crappy. I don't want to be standing over the toilet all nauseous, I got carried away. Okay, so I'm easing into this binge day. I did during the week, I do think what I want to eat during my binge day, and I was thinking a big pizza would be pretty freaking awesome today. During my prime, I think I get a large pizza by myself, but I don't know, my stomach's getting a little smaller, maybe a medium. So anyway, but I want to talk about yesterday, a couple quick stories. My daughter, who inspires me all the time, she's a super positive person, and works for a nonprofit right now, doing organ donations, works with the hospitals. She's just awesome. She's just an awesome person. And she called up and asked me about, what they needed up here for supplies. And I went over to the emergency shelter here close by, and I was asking them, my daughter wants to know what kind of stuff you need. They go, they've been overwhelmed. So much giving in this area that they didn't need anything, And so And so I asked, I said, well, I've heard people want clothes and stuff. And they said, well, check on the website, I think the Santa Rosa Fire website, and they'll talk about who needs what. And so my daughter got on the website, and she found out one of these shelters needed some masks and some stuff. And then she found out that at the Flamingo, the hotel up here, that a lot of the workers who live close by, that their house had burned down and they lost their clothes. And so, and things like that. And so she grabbed some stuff for them, and grabbed some, went by on the way up. I can't remember where she got this, but she went into one of these places to buy these emergency supplies to bring to this shelter. And so she goes in there to spend her own money on this, what she can buy. And she tells the place what it's for. And she said it's for the fire victims up there in Santa Rosa. And they kicked in all kinds of extra stuff to her. Like all kinds of free stuff they kicked into her. And told her to bring it up there. I just love all this stuff. I'm going to find out what store that is, because I was running around. It was a fast day yesterday. I was a mess yesterday. I was couldn't even think straight. And she came up, and I just saw her for a little bit, gave her a hug and stuff. I mean, I just love her so much. And but anyways, that's a freaking awesome story, And so anyway, also, so when I was over at that shelter though, I sat yesterday, and they had so much help over there. There was they looked, and they told me to come over for the dinner, right? And I come over, and there's all these people helping. It was there was almost many people helping as there was people left there. Because this was where the convalescent people went to, most of them. And they're really old. And I think a lot of their loved ones might have picked them up. So it was a lot less than when I was there the first, 2 days ago when I first went there. And so I said, hey, can I talk to some of the people? And I think I talked about this a little bit yesterday, but I was just adding this up, and I think this lady was 91 years old, because I said, hey, I'd like to go out if I could and talk to some of some of the residents who are out there. They're eating dinner by themselves and stuff. And so I sat across from this one lady and talked to her for a half hour, and she was a 1944 graduate of Santa Rosa High. Just amazing stories and things like that, and I listened to her stories about everything, about her husband. He just passed away 5 months ago. And, just kind of listened to a lot of stuff, and it was really interesting history on Santa Rosa. And then at the end, they came over and whispered in her ear that I guess it was time for her to go back and, take a nap. I don't know, whatever, go back and take a nap. She's just in the shelter, but she was eating. And she was and they stood her up, and then I put my fist out. I said, give it to me. And she bumps her knuckles into my knuckles, and the caregiver, and these guys were awesome, his jaw drops, and he looks at me and goes, who are you? I said, Epic Bill Bradley. I'm here to motivate. Really touching stuff up here. It really gets to me. All right. I'm doing my weekly video of my, my motivational talks. I'm heading up, and I got to tell you kind of a funny story. It's not that funny, but I usually try and go where it's really discreet to do these videos, because I've had people call the police on me. I've had people scream at me. When you're yelling, when you get all emotional and you get kind of high, your voice gets loud. I mean, you get some reactions. And anyway, so I try and go in this really discreet area. Well, yesterday, and I'm telling you, nobody's around because of the fires, up here, the fires. And I went up there into this area. It's like a back road. It's already a little side maintenance road that nobody hardly goes on. And then on top of that, I went off this little trail where I can get some quiet and be able to film these videos. And as I went up that trail, it was 3 guys went by me, one first, and then a second one, then a third one. And they were they just didn't look right. You know what I mean? They looked, as the police told me later, did they look like bad news? I said, yeah, that's exactly what they look like. They look like bad news. So anyway, for all the good we have up here, there's also people, because right along that, right behind that, where I was filming, is where the houses were evacuated, and they're just vacant there. And so, yeah, I drive after I walked out of there. These guys are asking, "What are you doing? What are you doing up here? What, And they're asking me all these questions, and they keep following me around. And I finally just left, and I rode down the road. It took me a few minutes to figure out what was going on. I was thinking, what were those guys doing? Because I go, what are you doing up here? You're gonna hike up and see the fire? Oh no, I'm just hiking around the mountain. And I'm going like, I never see anybody up here hiking around the mountain. This is a weird trail, and you don't look like a hiker. And so, yeah, the police, I said, if they look like bad news, they're probably looking to try to loot, trying to, get into these houses when they're vacant. And so, anyway, you do see the good and the bad up here when there's a catastrophe. I mean, there's always people looking to do it the illegal way. And then you got people down there volunteering 24 hours a day. So you can focus on the people who are trying to come in here and vandalize and loot, or you can focus on, because I don't believe they're from this area. They didn't look like they're from this area. And my area, people are they're honest, dang it. And so or you could focus on the people who are doing all that volunteering and really helping. And that's what I focus on. So I'm going to pretend that these guys were just a blip on the radar. And I think the police definitely scared them away, because, I let them know. I went right down to where they were stationed. I go, looks like bad news. He told me, do they look like bad news? I go, yeah, that's the word, bad news. They look like bad news. High winds expected tonight. Looks like our complex is, a lot of people can go somewheres, have gone somewheres. So it looks like it's going to be just a handful of us here probably again tonight, with high winds on the mountain. I think they said like 60, somebody told me 60-mile-an-hour gusts. But my daughter, who's always positive, said there's a lot of firemen up here and they're ready. Eye of the tiger. Those firemen got the eye of the tiger. So my third workout of the day, keeping it steady. That's important to me to get the 3 workouts in a day right now. Selling my running coach on it. But I just did a 2-mile walk and held 15:30 pace for the 2 miles, just the 15-minute. I'm getting locked in. Muscle memory. Get that muscle memory. The first time I heard about muscle memory was, it was a bowler. He was real famous, I think, in the 70s. When bowling was famous. And Earl Anthony. And he was, I used to watch him on, I don't know, whatever it was, Professional Bowlers Hour or something. And he won the championship for multiple years. And he talked about that he always does the same stroke, and you do it thousands of times, and you get this muscle memory. So he was getting muscle memory on that stroke. And I never heard of it back then. It was the first time I ever heard of it. And I thought it wasn't true. That's really what I thought. I go, that's not true, is it? You can have muscle memory. Your muscles can have memory. Now I'm like the king of believing in muscle memory. So I'm out there every time I'm hitting these workouts, 15-minute pace, 15-minute pace, 15-minute pace. Except the one this morning after my fast, 17-minute pace, but that's okay. All the rest of them have been 15 and change. So muscle memory. Heading for yoga. I just finished my third session of my third workout today, hour and a half of yoga. I thought it was going to be really easy when I was looking. It was going to be meditative and,
and it just, I didn't think it was going to be what it was, but it ended up being, I didn't know it was an hour and a half either. And when you throw in that extra half hour, it's tough. And yoga poses are tough for me. I did have a nice talk with one of the instructors afterwards, and she was telling me for running, it's the hamstrings, running or walking, power walking like I'm trying to do, both of those things, hamstrings and the hips and the lower back. That's what you want to loosen up. Are those to get that further stride. So I was all fired up. Good class. I actually sweated. I thought it was going to be really easy, and then I'm sweating. This is kind of hard. Anyway, I love yoga, man. It mellows me out every time afterwards.
All right, putting down my X. Since today is an easy X, it was my binge day X. I just had like 4 cheese enchiladas. That's like my record. I probably won't eat that many again because I got to get up early and do my run tomorrow. So I got in my 4 cheese enchiladas. I finished I'm almost at 6 weeks, which would mean I lost 12 pounds going from my goal over here to get to 185. My Tuscobia, my first race at Tuscobia. So on my way home, after picking up those enchiladas, and I went up this afternoon, and I was doing some filming on the mountain again. I went to go up in the same place that I saw the looters, like possible looters, the other day, standing around loitering up there. Just look like bad news. That's how the cop explained it. Did they look like bad news? I said, yeah. Well, I went back up there today. I'm thinking like, all right, I'm going to film same spot. I'm sure those guys have been run off. And then I go up there and there's a different guy standing around. A different guy up there with his hoodie on, and just look like bad news. I mean, I've been going up there for years, and I'm off the trail. I'm off the trail. I'm like, I don't know, a quarter mile off the trail, and I got guys in the woods hanging out near me. My daughter is like, yeah, you're definitely on looter patrol. I said, yep. Up in Santa Rosa, don't fuck with us. Not fires, not bad guys, because we look out for each other. This is a strong community up here. Anyway, Eye of the Tiger.